Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts and, going over this little poll that I have up on the channel. It's on the posts tab if you're curious. I posted a few days ago, just kind of curious about this. Would you guys be interested in me streaming gameplay like Resident Evil or Metal Gear Solid games? And so this is just something that I'm kind of thinking about, maybe to experiment with in the winter. And just with Metal Gear Solid Delta coming out, really intrigued to play that game. I don't have a console that I can play it. The Switch 2 launch, I was kind of unimpressed by that. And I was thinking it's not much more expensive. Maybe I want to get a PS5 and I could do some streaming just to create more content for the channel, maybe with some interruptions for some TA breaks. I think that'd just be a nice way to create content for the channel while also, having some fun with things that I don't usually do, like play some games. And I never played Resident Evil 4. I'm really curious about the remake of Resident Evil 2. There's also this Alien game and 007 game coming out. I just thought I'd throw that out there if you guys are interested. And I guess I'm just gonna come back to some charts. Maybe I'll just pull up some stuff in Webull, and if there are requests, I'll go over those. Let's see. Things that stand out to me. I guess these are the stocks that I hold and or have some contracts in. And that's pretty crazy. I don't really pay attention to the Mara chart much, but it's just been consolidating here for quite some time. And in the overnight, it's down about 4 cents. Hey, Benjamin, what's up? And I'm going to pull up I can pull up chats now, so I might just do this to kind of see what that's like. Hey, Benjamin, how's it going? So if you got a request, I'd be happy to go over, whatever you're thinking. And and I think actually you were perhaps interested in Mara before. And I think I started to establish a position over here pretty small. I have some calls that I get anxious about contracts. They expire in January, so I kind of want to get rid of them, so I'm not worried about it. But they're down. I've accumulated a few more shares. I think the low for Mara on Friday was sub 15. I had the alert go off, but I didn't buy any. The low on Friday was 1461. And I feel like crypto in general is just kind of in this weird time. And let's see. Benjamin saying he does have a position in Mara. Yeah. I don't know. Let's see. I haven't been looking at charts too much in Webull, so these are like some of my old drawings. But I think I remember, actually, this purple line, kind of like a left shoulder here, head, right shoulder, inverse head and shoulders, broke above that, but then pulled back some. And now, it's kind of tough to know what's going on. We have put in higher lows here, so I guess that's good. But these lines here, the yellow one's the 50-day moving average, and the blue is the 200-day. And so it looks like we're barely getting a crossover there. If I just zoom in on that, we can see the yellow. The shorter time frame is above the longer time frame. So that would be a golden cross, I believe it or not. And that is, let's see, when the yellow crosses over the blue, so like over here, the opposite happened. Yellow crossed under the blue and price went down. Over here, yellow crossed above and price ended up just going down. So over here though, yellow crossed above and price continued higher, pulled back, went higher. But I've been contemplating, because I think my average for Mara is around like 15 something. I think I'm in the red at 1519, but maybe 1535. I'm not really sure. But I've kind of been contemplating, well, maybe I just want to sell I'm at break even, so I have some more cash on the side. But I haven't done that because I have some calls, and I feel like if I hold calls, I should wait for those to at least get to break even and sell those. And then at that time, the stock price would be up, and then so I could choose to sell then. Um, but yeah, so I've just been, this has just been boring, crypto in general boring, but I think that like the fourth quarter of the year is going to be really exciting, whether it's for miners or the cryptocurrencies in general or crypto assets. I feel like it's a better way to put it. I see another comment from Benjamin. I'm just going to pull that up. Holding it until it reaches around 160. Okay, let's see. Looking back in the history, and actually, what I might do, since we've kind of gone over it here, I might pull it up on TradingView just because I feel like it's a little bit more elegant. I just like TradingView a little bit more. But yeah, Mara over here. And it looks like I don't have any drawings on it, so that's a little bit cleaner. But we can see the high. I believe the all-time high was around 80. Oh, no. Over here, I guess when it was initially launched, like 230. Highs over here, 150. So I think that could, be aligned with what you're thinking with 160. And so I might just put a horizontal. Actually, I might escape, so I'm not doing this too much. And I think it's good to have, multiple, touch points or whatever, multiple overlaps. So it's not just like a wick and a quick pierce and that being the only day. So I'm going to bring this down to, right around here. And, over here we can see we actually got, kind of surprised you saw a close above that level, but couldn't hold it. And so, it's like I want to move this up a little bit. So there's no opens or closes above it over here, but I actually think that, it's going to be a little bit more, more pierces and whatnot generally, so that, even if it doesn't get up to as high as it was on, so this is December 23rd of 2014. That's a long time ago. But the close on that day was 154.72. I've got this line at 151.48, being somewhat arbitrary. Some overlap here. And so I feel like 150 might be, if going for right around there, I feel like 150 might be more feasible than 160. Because then that would be getting into like new high relative to over here. And then let's see, bigger picture. I'm going to do a little head and shoulders drawing over here. And so let's see, I'm just going to do this. Inverse head and shoulders, I guess I should say. So there is the left shoulder. This is a massive head. And then, right shoulder down to here. And so that was pierced, broken through. And this was broken through in 2021. Got a rejection from there. So I actually think this neckline, is going to be pretty important. I'm just going to do a horizontal line so it's not exact, because the other one's kind of diagonal. But that's at like 55. I could probably actually move that up a little bit. Getting close to 60. Not really sure which one I like. What I might want to do is just do a box. I think this is going to be a green blob, so I'll have to change this. But I kind of like this area. I'll project it forward a little bit. So I'm just going to adjust that to be more transparent. I'll do 20%. And do I want it as green or something else? I think green's probably fine, or yellow. So we'll do that. That might be too much. go down to 10%. Maybe even 5%. Very faint. Yeah, I don't know if that looks good or what. But yeah, I mean, it's really just like this range from like the tops over here to where that was pierced. So I think this is going to be pretty important. So that's going to be the range from around 55 or 54 up to around 83. And, but, you know, I might have this drawn out in the other chart. Let's see. And actually, if I'm looking at it on this scale, I might actually... where'd the volume go? There's the volume. All right. So, yeah, this is on the log scale. And I'm going to take a step back. Oh, so this doesn't really look too crazy. But yeah, I mean, with it drawn like this on the log scale, you know, maybe I could redraw that head and shoulders pattern to be something like that. You know, I could even just do it over to here. And so, you know, that neckline goes across. And maybe I want to bring this down here. And, this would be, yeah, so it's not really a head and shoulders pattern because we'd have to get up notably higher. I don't know if any of that's useful, but, you know, it was previously too far in the past. But, yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, looking at it like this, let's forget about this head and shoulders pattern because I don't think that's really too significant. It's kind of wonky. But looking at it like this, we can do a fib extension. Oh, I've already got the tool up. So I'm just going to go from the low here up to the high, down to the low. Let's see where that would, I don't know. Let's see, I screwed something up. So Fibonacci extension, got the tool here, going from that low up to the high here. I'm going to drag that out, corresponding with the bottom over here, but just dragging it over to here into the future. Maybe I'll just line it up with that box. All right, and so that would suggest where price could be going to the upside. That's around 720 bucks. That's kind of a lot. I feel like these levels are a little more conservative. That's a 100% extension. So to get that level, I'm just going to doodle it out. Let's see, the doodle's right here. You know, so it's like from here to here, and then just take that from that low, and that's, you know, basically how you get around 700 bucks. I don't know if that's realistic. And so I might, now it's on linear, and on linear, that, yeah, I don't know. I kind of, this makes me feel more confident that it will go to like 50, 150. But I don't necessarily think it's going to 700. That's pretty crazy. And another way that we can do this is from, you know, the low here to the high here, and then down to this low. And that would put the price target at like 110. I think it's a little bit more reasonable than 700. And this is going back to the lows. I'm going to sneeze 1 second. Excuse me. Coming back to the lows of December 2022. So this is all kind of, you know, from last cycle up to here. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this could be going to 110, 50 to 110, maybe, you know, by this is suggesting by the end of 2026. But yeah, I mean, if you're going to hold this long term, you got conviction in it, then it's all just patience and stuff. And I feel like this is, I mean, I don't know, like miners are kind of interesting. Um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm excited about crypto, but I feel like miners are like another layer on top of that business. And I feel like Fred Thiel, it seems like a really good CEO. Seems to be like navigating the space pretty well, but could be wrong with that. Um, yeah, so let's just see. Okay, so yeah, I mean, those are more or less my thoughts. I feel like these price targets up here are reasonable, and I might just let's see. I wanna. Okay, is this on the log? Sorry, I'm getting a little wonky. Um, yeah, okay. So yeah, this is the high. This is around 80. That's what I was thinking about. And the blue line that I have, that's the 50-day simple moving average, which we're currently below. We've been consolidating below it for a while, so that's not really a great look. So what we really want to see is like a break above, really like I mean, I'd say 17. Cursor is at 1669. And the 50-day moving average is at 1670. So yeah, you can see just looking at the chart here, we've had a lot of rejections from that level. We were trading above it for a little while. We were also trading below it for a little while. So we need to see like a break above, retest, bounce, but then that didn't last. So if we can get above like 17, start closing above 17, I think that'd be a really good look. And I can't have multiple moving averages on here at once, but if we look at the 200-day, that's going to be right around 1670. I believe 1667. So yeah, the 50-day is 3 cents above the 200-day. So that's a golden cross, but lagging indicator of price having gone up. Now it's pulling back some, so take it with a grain of salt. But yeah, I'll just put the 50 back there. And let's see if there are others in the chat. Anybody else have some requests? I'd be happy to go over them. One that I will pull up that I don't know if you still follow. Whether I think you were in Blink. Somebody asked me to follow up on Blink in my next video, and those just never really got too many views. And let's see, if I don't use TradingView, it kind of gets wonky. So let's see, Mara, I want BLNK. And I'm actually going to have a sip. Got some wine. I opened up a bottle last night, and yeah, so I'll maybe finish it tonight. But yeah, and I actually, the RLC video that I put out today, I actually started recording that last night, but then realized like I stumbled with some words a little bit, and it's like, I think maybe I've had too much wine, and maybe I shouldn't do that. Yeah, it was just kind of I think a really useful video, but I think today's was probably better put together, but basically the same. But yeah, cheers to you guys. Cheers to Sunday, and hopefully a good week ahead of us. And Benjamin is saying, what about Tex? So I'll pull that up. Let's see. So I'll pull that comment up. Oh, I gotta pull up my chat. So I'll pull that chart up in a minute. I just wanted to go over Blink real quick. I guess this doesn't look so bad right here with the 50-day moving average. And let's see. And I'm just going to note this because somebody was asking that I go over this. Got a little notepad here. And so I'm just going to write Blink at I've been streaming for, where is the time? Well, I'll start it. So it's like 20 minutes in. And so yeah, I kind of got like a little bit of a different setup. It usually, yeah, it's at the bottom, 20 minutes. Cool. I was looking for it in a different spot. But yeah, I will pull that up for Benjamin in a second. I just wanted to go over Blink that, I mean, I think it could be pulling back to support with the 50-day simple moving average there at like a buck. But also I think that, I mean, like there's no certainty that this company or companies in this sector are going to succeed other than like Tesla. You know, I feel really confident in Tesla. And these other ones, I feel like there's just, you know, too much possibilities of things going to zero, because it definitely happens. But one thing that we can do is a little Fibonacci retracement here from the low. That was on August 8th, going up to the highs over here. And so we can see that it's right around the 50% retracement. That's around $1. The 50-day moving average is at 99.5. And then the 618 is at like 97. So what I could see going on with this is, let's see, I think I could see it coming down, piercing the 50-day, coming down to the 618, bouncing there, maybe coming down to approaching the 786, but not getting there. That would be around 786 at 91 cents. But maybe it comes down to like 93 or so. And then if it is to, you know, recover, kind of then just like stair step up and go something like that. I don't think that's too likely though. I think that this is probably going to be pushed below zero. One way that we can look at that, and I actually might bring up the Mara Max Pain, because Benjamin was asking about Mara, and then I'll pull up Blink. But yeah, the Max Pain for Mara for this coming, well, for last Friday was $16, and Mara closed at $15.19, so that's not such a good look. Then it's $15.50 for this upcoming Friday. So I'd look for Mara to like really try to reclaim $15.50. Otherwise, it's probably going to be pulling back some, and then maybe it would start to bounce, you know, leading up to or following the monthly contract expiration, which would be the 19th, 2 Fridays from now, because then we see the Max Pain go down back to $15.50. But if I pull up Blink, there's probably nothing interesting with options over here. Max Pain's just around $1. And so I imagine it's going to get pushed below $1. And then there are like non-compliance issues, potential non-compliance issues, because they are listed. I mean, but here's something. On the 5th, so on Friday, insider Berkovic Michael bought 6,000 shares. However, 6,000 shares, what is that? That's $6,000. That's nothing. That's a small amount of money for an insider to be purchasing. So I don't really see that as being too notable. Yeah, so I just, I don't know. I'm happy with the shares that I sold at a loss in ChargePoint. So maybe I'll pull up ChargePoint here. They had a reverse split over here. You can see this is 1 for 20 reverse split. Should be a reverse split, I believe, right? Yeah, it'd be a reverse split because they're not doing so great. And then it kind of bounced there, and then I was thinking like $8, you know, is potentially a level. But I mean, this bounced following the reverse split, moved up here, and you know, got rejected from the 50-day moving averages. Since pulled back over here, we could do a Fibonacci retracement, and it has pulled down to the 618. So potentially like right around $10, 991 is the 618. The low on Thursday, though, on the 4th, was 941, so piercing that level, but not getting down to the 786 at 928. But yeah, I mean, this is just, you know, going back to 2020, 2019 even. Price was like $200, hit a high of like $900. And yeah, it's looking pretty small. Cool how my drawings transferred over after the split. But I was, I haven't really done too much with Wyckoff theory, just because I don't know, I'm not disciplined enough or something. But I was trying to figure out, if this was trading in a range. And like this is, I think, a minor sign of weakness, I believe, sign of strength, sell test, drop down, bounce. This is a selling climax, automatic response, something start. I forget what that stands for. Upper thrust or something like that. But yeah, I mean, this was trading in this range. And then it gapped below, attempted to get above, got rejected from the 50-day moving average, and has since pulled back to the 786. So yeah, maybe like $9 is a good level. But like over here, the low is like 850, and I was kind of thinking that $8 seemed like maybe that'd be a bottom. Actually, before I do a little trend line, I might just do a measurement, from the low there. Yeah, and that could have actually been bought. So like on this day, on the 28th, when it did drop down there, 28th of July, the low is 855. So let's say the next day, the low is also 855. Maybe you have an order at 869 because you're an idiot like me. And I didn't have an order placed there, but let's say. And so from like 869 up to the top here, that's like 420, 42.0% up, So that's pretty nice, but now it's pulled back up 8% or so from the lows there. I don't think it looks too good. And hey, Chestad, what's up? Can I look at Rivian? I'll look at Rivian. I'm first going to go over Benjamin's request there of TechX, and then I will definitely check out Rivian. I've been getting some alerts on them, so I might pull up what those alerts are. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a large Tesla position. It's pretty small. But I'm just like, I'm content with that. And I don't stress about it, even with the volatility. And when I can add, I do. And, so I just feel like that's one that I really want to just build more of a position with. But Rivian's definitely been an interesting one in the past. So I'll definitely pull that up. But let's see, TechX. So I'll just do that over this Bitcoin chart. TechX. And actually, maybe it would be useful for me to pull, gap down. I don't like this. But let's pull up what I've had over here. Just going to pull up the TRL tab. This is one I'd like to go over. Got lots of drawings apparently, but USAR, that one's been pretty interesting. Pull back to the 50-day moving average, so that's neat. I might leave that up here. And so I'll just leave all of these up here. Maybe you guys have a request on some of them. But TECX, Tectonic Therapeutics. Yeah, this is one that I had gone over, but I guess fairly briefly. TechX. And I should make sure I add that to the, let's see, Degen Ed. Oh, it is already there. Cool. All right, so looking at this doesn't look so good. Like I don't know anything about the company other than I done this fib retracement and it pulled back to 25 and, broke below, got rejected from it, attempted to go back up, went above the 50-day moving average, but ultimately got rejected from that 786 level, broke below the 50-day moving average, and then, kind of got above it, reclaimed that 786, but then I'm not sure what this news was. It gapped down with a almost 35% down day on September 2nd. and then it's just been consolidating. So that to me looks like it could be a bear flag. So it could be continuing lower, but maybe not. Actually, maybe I'll just look at some of these news. Three strong biotech stocks, top analysts believe, have over 300% upside. So that's from TipRanks. I don't have an account with them, and so it kind of have a tough time reading their stuff. This is optimistic outlook on Tectonic Therapeutics strategic trial design and upcoming catalysts. That's from 3 days ago. Tectonic Therapeutics, a new outperform at Oppenheimer on heart drug asset. It was 4 days ago. And that's from Seeking Alpha. And then I got one from Dow Jones here. Tectonic Therapeutic price target announced at $80 a share by Oppenheimer. So they're clearly very bullish. But yeah, I mean, this doesn't look so great. And just get these pop-ups out of here. Yeah, so, you know, if like we do like a fib extension from up here to the low here, and then maybe like to fill the gap, but then it ultimately gets rejected, we could see that'd be coming down to like 13 bucks. So yeah, let's see. I don't really think that's significant because I'm like projecting where I think the price could go. If I just do a regular old retracement from the low here up to the high, it's right around the 786. So yeah, that could potentially be holding, and then maybe I'd say like maybe this level over here, the low from April 9th, which was 1370. Maybe that's a good like stop loss level. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that's because that's like the lowest it's been. Like, is that the all-time low? No, that's not the all-time low, but it's pretty close. Yeah, so I think that maybe I think this is very risky. I think that it could go to 13. I think it could go lower. But also, you know, it's at the 786. So maybe it finds that as support. That's around 1660. Here for my drawing at 1663, but let's just round it down to 1660. But then the low over here, as I had mentioned, 1370. So I might just put a horizontal line there at 1370 if I can get that lined up. And you know, just delete that 3. There we go. Yeah, so that's kind of what I think with this. But with that big gap down, it also, I mean, it could trade in that range for some time. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So, I mean, it could just do this for, let's just say till the end of the year, which would be over here, December 31st. So let's see now. See, I mean, here it could go up, get rejected. It could just do that for a while. Maybe. I don't know. I'm just having fun with this. No idea, but it could take its time down here. Earnings coming up on this date, which is approximately Thursday, November 25th, 2025, November 6th, 2025. And then I guess I can pull up a Max Pain for TechX. 1750 on monthlies. So this month for September on the 19th, 1750, and then for October 17th, 1750 as well. And the current price is like 1690 in the after hours, I guess. Closed at 1680. And yeah, so I mean, I'd be careful with that and expect it to maybe take some time. And I'm going to pull up Chestad's comment here. Can I look at Rivian? Have some January 19th calls at 25 and 30, and I'm interested in my thoughts. Yeah, definitely we'll pull that up. And so I do have some like legacy drawings on Rivian over here. So maybe I'll pull those up, but I might also see what I've got. Yeah, because this just gets like too cluttered and stuff. Yeah, so I might pull this up over here. And Benjamin, I see your comment there on Very. So I believe it says Very, Veri. And so I'll pull up that chat once I've gone through Rivian for Chestad. And let's see. And by the way, Chestad, cheers. Happy Sunday. Drinking a little bit of wine tonight. Opened a bottle last night. It was just having fun, I guess. So I got to finish it before it oxidizes and whatnot. But yeah, I'll pull it up over here. Still tastes good. No vinegar flavor yet. So, Rivian. Let's pull that up. I imagine I have some drawings in this, but I guess not. Okay, kind of nice to look at it like this, bigger picture, without other drawings other than that moving average. Because what I see is, let's see, just going to do it very casual. Trend line here, very clearly, putting in higher lows. And let's see, lower highs as well. This is a little rougher. I might draw this. I think I'll just leave it like that. Some of them are going to pierce it a little bit. And maybe, I shouldn't have them pierce it too much. But yeah, I think that's good. Get the touches here, a little bit off there. But yeah, this seems like, looking at this, we do see kind of a break in what's been happening here because we have the lower highs here, or a lower high followed by another lower high. But then here, this is a higher high. So that seems like, there's higher lows put in at the bottom. I think that's good, being respected. And then we saw this. So I think that's pretty neat that it went above those highs. And actually maybe what I want to do is something like this just to show that it's a higher high. Maybe I'll color that yellow. All right, so higher highs there. And maybe this would not be a head and shoulders because the head is not lower than the shoulder here. But yeah, 50-day moving average is at 13. And yeah, so this right here is very interesting to me because it's, I guess, what I'd want to do is, what have we seen from over here? We have consistently seen, yeah, this is probably a better way. I think this is a better way to look at the chart, but this could be hopium. Legit could be hopium. So the reason why I'm doing this or doing that yellow line is because, and this could even be extended back to, nope. This is, because like right here, sorry, I'm zooming on this all wonky. But this high on September 15th of 2022, if you remember that day, the high was 40.86. Over here, it was 40.56. So this was a higher high. And so I can't say that it was like lower highs all the way back to here. This is the first time that we saw, a higher low, higher high. But then following that, relative to that high, these highs have been lower. And this high has been lower. These highs lower than that high. Lower still. And then this is still lower, but it's like a fake out break above, kind of getting rejected from that line from the underside, and then break above, kind of a retest of that line. It's a little bit wonky, but then getting rejected from that bigger picture one that I had drawn, pulls back, retests over here, kind of does what I would think is, a bear flag, which I can draw to illustrate where I think that'd be going to the downside, because let's see if I can kind of draw this to illustrate it. So it's like here to here, and then the distance down from here is the same distance from here to here, and that would then bring you to that 100% extension around $10. Also $10, I could see that as being kind of a psychological level, like a magnet. With it trading at 14.21 now. But the point I wanted to make on that is this did not happen. I would look at that and be like, oh, it could be a bear flag. I'd brace for 10. That didn't happen. Instead, what we got here, so on August 6th, we had a low of 11.57. Then on August 12th, a low of 11.58. So higher lows, still higher lows. Maybe we want to do a trend line. That's basically a flat line, but, no closes below this level. And what we could do is a fib retracement from the low here. That's 57. Just gonna line that up. And the high over here was 15.03. So that should be, to the penny. And, I could see this coming down to the 618 and then potentially like retesting this trend line of higher lows. And that would be around 1280. I have it drawn at 1279. The 50-day moving average is at 13. So maybe that is the level that gets retested. But yeah, we do see, let's see, what do we have here? Thinking about the volume and the RSI. And I might actually, remove the comment just so I can, you guys can see the volume and stuff there. But what we have is, higher lows. We also have the volume progressively increasing. This is a little bit lower, but this is higher over here. With that, we also have the RSI kind of going up. We have higher highs in the stock price, higher highs here. With this being a lower low, that was also a lower low, so no divergence there. So yeah, there's really not like much divergence or anything. I do think that, this had tested on September 3rd, gotten into the 70s, or let's see, with the RSI at 70, 74. And then with that, volume was kind of going up as price was consolidating. So that makes me think this is probably going to pull back, because you got this big wick to the upside hitting that high of 1503, and there's a lot of effort, with this volume here. That's the highest volume that we've seen since, let's see, I got to go back, since this little spike here on January 3rd. So this is the highest volume we've seen all year, effectively. And on January 3rd, Rivian went up 24.45% on that day. So, what we're seeing over here with volume less than that, but still as high as it's been, price going up 4.11%, then down 5.12%, and then up 3.72%. And so, with these big wicks to the upside too. So that makes me think that it is probably going to retrace, and I'd expect it to come down to at least 13, test that 50-day moving average. But I would suspect it'd break lower to around 1280 to test the 618. But you had a specific question about $25 and $30 calls that expire in December. So I might, let's see, pull up the Max Pain for Rivian. And so I think with those strikes, I would not expect it to be closing in the money. So if there is like a volatile move to the upside, if I was you, I mean, but I get kind of antsy getting closer to expirations, I would want to take profits or even maybe break even because 25 and 30 are pretty out of the money considering Max Pain is around 13, 14, highest being 15. But I guess I should just consider going up to December 12th here, where Max Pain, sorry, December 19th, where Max Pain is 14. And current price is around 14, just above. But it didn't really close like multiple strikes, like many strikes above Max Pain, because on Friday the 5th, Max Pain was 1350, so that's one strike, but that's kind of like strike 0. And then the next strike above would be 14, and Rivian closed at 1421. So that that doesn't seem like super bullish. If it's able to hold up, then maybe it could like gamma squeeze, but I feel like with Max Pain coming down to 13 for this coming Friday, and then 1250 for the monthly, September 19th, that does make me think that it's probably going to be pulling back, like I was saying, to around 13 down to 1280, maybe even 1250. And then if we look at some, I'm actually just going to pull up the flow. I'll reset the filters here. Just type in Rivian, and we can just see any of these contracts. I might just pull up ones that have a minimum premium of $100,000. So we did see some on the 5th. Some with, 600,000, 800,000, 780, 788. That's a $16 call for November. And then this other one is $25 call for January of 2027. And the 645 is a $14 put. These seem like they are, this trade is part of a multi-leg option strategy, so I might pull that up just to see. This is a $20 strike call that expires January of 2026, and then $25 call that's January 2027. And so I'm not exactly sure what they did here. I'm not going to try to interpret that. Really, I just wanted to look at any one of these contracts. I might do the one that just, had the most on it, or maybe I'll do the 780 because that's more recent time from 11/21 expiration for $16 call. So I really just wanted to look at the data over here. And so I'm just going to expand this. Whoa, Chess Dad, thank you. I just got a super chat from Chess Dad right there, so pulling that up. Thanks a lot. I really do appreciate it. And but yeah, hopefully I can give you some more insight with the contract data here. And also, I feel like most people who watch the channel don't really care too much for my interpretation of the unusual whales data. But if you guys have enjoyed it, if you have been, kind of getting to know it as a tool, I don't get anything for it. But they do have a back-to-school sale for that expires September 10th, and you get 15% off platform plans for up to 1 year. And I think you might also get like 20% if it's an upgrade. I'm not really sure. But yeah, 15% off. I have the annual, which I'll have to update in November for Black Friday. But yeah, I think it's a great tool. But anyways, yeah, getting back to this data, stock price in yellow going up some, and this is just the data for the 5th. We'll take a step back in a minute to look at more time frames. But we can see the red line, net put premium going up. So that's not so good. That's about $500,000 net put premium for the day. Whereas the net call premium in green, that also went up, and that actually pulled back towards the end of the day. And so that's up about $250,000. So bear bull slider is more on the side of the bears. But really, I mean, this isn't like millions of dollars, which I would imagine Rivian sees that for premium. So let's just go back the past 7 days, see what's been going on. Yes, price was going up here, or leading into the price going up. Net call premium went up here where the cursor is on September 2nd. It went up by nearly $2 million, $1.82 million. And then the following day when Rivian was kind of topping out, net call premium was up by over $2 million, 2.03, with net put premium coming down by about $500,000, almost 600, sorry, yeah, $500,000, almost 600,000. So this is like a good look, but then seeing this pull back so quickly, yeah, I mean, I just think with the volume being a lot of effort here, I think that there could be opportunities for a pullback. And so I guess I'll just kind of doodle what I could see happening. Maybe it comes down to the 50-day around 13. Maybe it bounces from there. But then I would think maybe it takes out those lows, comes to that trend line support, and then maybe, starts to attempt. I'm not going to suggest that it's going above that downtrend, but, start to attempt to get above there. But yeah, looking at the, this is, the Rivian data here. Let's look at the past 30 days. Net put premium here came up by nearly $4 million. So that was a lot. That was on August 5th. And let's see, there's some selling of put premium here, but that was $1 million. So this $4 million, I imagine a lot of that's still on the table. But yeah, price came down, consolidated, moved up. I think that it's going to need to pull back some. And the levels that it could come back to, 50%, 1319, 50-day simple moving average, 13, 618, 1280, and then the 786, 1224. So those are all levels I'd keep an eye on. But yeah, again, thank you, Chess Dad, for the very generous $50 super chat. I do appreciate it a lot. Definitely appreciated. And yeah, so hopefully that was some useful analysis for you. I do appreciate it. And then I will pull up now Benjamin's comment on what do I think about Very. And so is Very, I might pull it up in Webull, just because I think I've got some, maybe I've gone over Veritone. And let's see. Oh, is this reminds me of, like, let's see, what is the profile of this company? Veritone Incorporated builds human-centered enterprise artificial intelligence, or AI solutions. Its AI operating system, aiWARE, uses machine learning algorithms or AI models together with a suite of applications to reveal valuable insights from vast amounts of structured and unstructured data, highly modular and customizable. And so I'm not going to get into that. It's an AI company. Concerns that I would have about this, not looking at the chart too much or anything, really just looking at the number up here, $2.66 a share. That, makes me think it's kind of small. Market cap also makes me think it's pretty small, with that being at around $150 million for an AI company. They need to have a lot of money for, training, data centers, all this stuff, like XAI has the Colossus data center. And so I think that's a really important aspect of AI in order to compete, to beat out competitions, or just to compete. Don't even have to beat them out. There needs to be a lot of money behind that. So a company with 150 million behind it makes me question it a little bit. Does look like I've done some retracements over here, and it has done a full retracement, so I'm going to delete that. But yeah, I mean, some levels over here. It does look like the 50-day might be crossing above the 200-day. That would be a golden cross, but that's also a lagging indicator as price has gone up. So good to keep that in mind. But trading above the 50-day, that is good. And Benjamin, I see your other request as well. I will get to that next tour. But yeah, and if there are people watching with requests, make sure you put them into the chat. I'll try to pull them up and go over them as they do come up. But yeah, I might just pull this up in, let's see, Trading View. So very. So, I mean, thing that's of concern here a little bit is it's not able to get above. It's had many tests here to get above around $3. So far, it's failed to get above that. Although this does look like it's a rising. Is this a rising wedge or rising triangle? And these would tend to break to the upside where the flat line is, I believe, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Let's see. Rising wedge pattern or ascending triangle. That's what I want. Ascending triangle pattern. And I want to pull this up from Investopedia. So this is, what we're dealing with. So move up, consolidating there, retest, and then finally it breaks out. So that is technically bullish. Let's visit the website just to see what they have to say. So triangles, a short study in continuation patterns. And so there's the doodle of it there. This is the descending. And this is when I first started talking about Blink, I think it had a descending triangle look to it. And then symmetric triangles. Anyways, let's come back to this. And yeah, so this seems like a continuation pattern. But let's see what's going on. Okay, so the thing that I like about this, but is maybe a little bit concerning, is you have the, move up here with a lot of volume behind it. So that looks really good. Then the other attempt failed, but lower volume. And so, we got lower volume there. But then up here, increased volume. Failed to break above there. But as price does go up to that level, 24+% day on August 26th, it consolidates here, but then gets rejected. With that, volume came down, so that's good as it's consolidating. Let's see, how do I... Oh, I think I need to... Why is this not... There we go. Yep, so moves up, volume comes down as it consolidates. Another attempt, volume comes down as it consolidates. So I would really, not want to see it go below this level here, right around like 240. Also, I've got the 50-day moving average at like 226. So you really want to see it hold this trend line. I could even, if I do it like that, so there are the wicks, let's see, I'm actually just going to move this to the low here and then extend this. So it's like there's no trading at all below that line. And so that's at like 238, or that's the horizontal line. But yeah, where it's at now, that would actually be a little bit higher, like 250. So I'd want to see it do, if it comes down a little bit lower, I think that's fine to like 250. But then you want to see it bounce, and then maybe it does something like that, and then can continue higher. So that's what I like to see with it. But with this increased volume here and it not being able to break above that, that makes me a little bit concerned. If I do a little fib retrace from the low here up to the high, and then just kind of extend this out. The 618's around 250. So yeah, I mean, I could see that acting as support, or I would like to see that acting as support, I should say. And I'm getting an error, something about YouTube is not. So if there's a little bit of a lag or something, I apologize. But yeah, it's saying that there's a little bit of an issue with the stream. But yeah, but I think really need to see that starting to close above $3. And I guess since I've been doing Max Payne stuff, I will pull that up here. So Veritone, Max Payne for September 19th, only monthlies here, is $2.50. And yeah, let's see. Current price is around $2.75. So, and then $2.50 and then $2, and then that's by November, and then $1.50 by $2.20. So, yeah, I'd expect this to come down to $2.50, and then I'd be very curious to see how it responds to that. And if it bounces and then puts in a higher low, it continues to put in higher lows, then I think that that's good. And then maybe it could start to gamma ramp up, with those Max Paynes later. But they're only monthlies for it, so there's not really too much potential, like on a weekly basis, for it to really, start to squeeze higher. But yeah, I mean, this being a $150 million market cap AI company, I would have some concerns, or I would not necessarily concerns, but I'd be less confident in it, if that helps. But yeah, and then I will pull up. Let's see, Benjamin's other comment here. What do I think of Tor? So let's see if I've looked at that over here. And this is Tuniu. So let's look up that one. Looks like I got a lot of crap drawn up here. I'm just going to clear the chart because I got way too much drawn up there. And so this did just get rejected from the 200-day moving average. I'd like to see it pull back, retest the 50-day moving average, and that's at like 84 cents, maybe be at 85 cents. But yeah, let's see. I'm just going to do a little fib retracement, but I'll probably do this on TradingView as well. So 50% is around 84. 618 is at like 82. So those are some levels that it could be pulling back to. But yeah, with it being a sub $1 stock listed on the NASDAQ, it could run into non-compliance issues. It does look like they have a dividend, which in my view, like I don't have any dividend stocks, but that seems a little ridiculous for a stock that's trading sub $1 on an exchange on the NASDAQ. Is that an exchange? The exchange, yes, that has a $1 requirement minimum. So that makes me think that this is like, I'm kind of curious about this. $100 million market cap. Let's see what this company does. Company mainly engaged in the provision of package tours and other travel-related services. Let's see. I feel like there's some talk that, I feel like there's always talk that we could be heading into a recession. I feel like inflation, aside from recession, is tightening people's pocketbooks, especially with tensions around the world, whether it's people not liking the U.S. because of Trump's policies or because of what other countries are doing. I feel like just people seem like they're less excited or less enthused to travel. So I don't like to trade stuff that's below $1. I don't like to really trade stuff that's too close to $1. And yeah, so I could see this pulling back to like 84 cents. I could also see this going to zero. Like does this need to continue going up? Or if it does come down, could it recover? If it came down more, it may not recover. So, and this, yeah, there's some, this is, and there, the news is all fairly old here. So yeah, I would say I'd be cautious with this one. But if it does pull back, keep an eye on the 50-day moving average, around 84 cents, maybe coming down to 82. The 786 does look like it coincides with kind of the consolidation over here around 79 cents. But then again, that's just, what's it? Here, I'll pull it up in Trading View because I can probably illustrate it a little bit better there. So let's see. The tour. Because, yeah, I mean, this has just been, it's like over here low, then goes up, then lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Well, it's a higher high, but maybe it comes back down to like 80 before. I don't know. But I expect it to pull back some. But I could be completely wrong. No idea. And one thing that I'm kind of curious to do, watch list. I don't have that on the side. I've seen a lot of people do this. A lot of people have a watch list. So maybe this is a good one for me to have up here. And I wonder if, and then it also gives some information on the company and stuff. That's pretty cool. Yeah, so Tesla, I'll leave that on the stocks there. But yeah, I don't know how to add stuff. Rivian, maybe if I right click, add alert, template save as. I want to add this quick search settings. Oh, okay, so I'll add a symbol. So, I'll add Rivian. That's one that why is that going into the crypto? Oh my gosh, this is going to make Crypto Corner Sat Stacker so much easier if I can just have a bunch of stuff in the watch list there. So yeah, maybe I want to click that, then add from stocks, Rivian. Cool. I'm still not really too familiar with this, but yeah, this is on Bitstamp. I actually want this to be, just going to kind of experiment. Bitcoin, Coinbase is what I usually do. And so I might add this to there. Move that to the top. And then delete this one. So that's pretty cool. ETH. This is on Bitstamp. I don't want that. I want ETH. USD from Coinbase. Oh, and I could just, here. There's a star over here. Add favorites. No, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I'll do ETH, USD, Coinbase. There we go. Cool. Forex. I don't really do Forex stuff. Futures. Stocks. That's pretty cool. Neat. Yeah, so if there are more requests, I'm just kind of adding stuff to crypto list here for Crypto Corner Sat Stacker. And so I might just kind of go through some of the tokens that I go over. And actually, I just want to do that by going over here. So Doge, USD, and I usually look at that from Binance. If I look at it on, this is going to be a little bit of an experiment, to see if something pops up on Doge. So I'm going to remove myself for a second. And then let's see. I'm going to type in Doge here. And I want to do this from Coinbase. Will there be a little dancing Doge? Sometimes there's a dancing Doge. There's not always a dancing Doge, I guess. Let's see. Yeah, oh well. I'll come back and then we can, let's see, look at the watch list. So other ones, this is one that I did a video on earlier today, RLC, USD. Why am I searching it though? I want to do it over here. So RLC, USD, Coinbase, also LRC USD, which is Loopring. Other ones that I have a good amount of, I know I have a lot of Ethereum Classic, which I don't like. And so I'll probably want to reorder some of those. What are ones that I have a fair amount of? I'm not exactly sure. I've got ETH. Let's see. I know I've got some Fartcoin. And I was looking at Fartcoin via Kraken. And then I also, let's see, Solana. Oops, well, maybe I want to do Sol USD on Coinbase. I could also do Cardano, ADA USD. Let's see some other ones. I think Litecoin USD. Uniswap USD. Oh, and actually Fartcoin. I think Fartcoin, the one that I had, was actually not on Kraken. The Fartcoin that I was looking at was Coinbase. I believe. Fartcoin USD. I believe that's where I have my drawings just because it's so new and stuff. Pengu USD. I think that I did that from Kraken. Nope. Let's see, Fartcoin. Nope, that must have been Kraken. I think I'm getting all these confused. If there are some requests, I'm just kind of updating my watch list, which I didn't really know I could do. So I'm just going to add Fartcoin USD, and this I want it to be from Kraken. I'm pretty sure Pengu USD. I guess that would be Coinbase. So I'm just going to make sure Fartcoin, and yep. So those look good. What are some other ones? I can like AVAX. Most I'm able to have is 30. And so that's actually easy. I mainly use this for crypto, but I can, just trash Forex because I don't use that. Futures, I can just trash that. Indices, good to keep an eye on, but See, I could delete that, that. Those are really the only ones. Let's see. Oh, I guess these all got merged, so that wasn't really like saving me anything. So, yeah, I'll be able to add stuff there. And so I'm just going to pull up Joe Bro's comment. Let's see here. Oh, I'm doing this incorrectly. Joe has said bonk to the moon. So that's not one that I follow, not for a Crypto Corner Sat Stacker. I don't hold. It is one that you can get with Robinhood, so that's kind of a nice thing. And let's see, I would wonder if it has like Robinhood data on here, but I guess not. But yeah, let's just look at the bonk data on Coinbase. And yeah, this, and somebody that I think is a really good person to follow for their analysis on crypto, really animated. I'll just, let's see. I'll pull up my YouTube and let's see, some subscriptions. And let's see, this is all the crap that I watch. Let's see. If you guys haven't heard of the background NPC, really good content creator, talks about video games, like a weekly video. She's pretty new, and I just think her content's great. So you can check her out. Oh, this guy. So this is from Crypto Banter, but this is Sheldon. Just like super animated, and does a stream every morning during the week, and does, like, in my view, really clean analysis of a variety of cryptos. I think that he's talked about Bonk, but maybe not. I'm not sure. But yeah, looking at Bonk, thing that stands out to me is this is like higher low. So, I mean, it could be coming down a little bit more to test that. But also, I mean, there's not too much history. It's going back to 2023. I don't know if that sounds right. But yeah, from the all-time high over here, just like, you know, it's, so that looks good that it kind of broke above that trend line. But then if I draw the trend line over here with those highs, and maybe if I bring it down a little bit to get some of the wicks there, move it over like this. I mean, I think that this could still be coming back down to around 4 zeros and a 16 or 17. But I can just do a fib retracement. So like right now it just bounced from the 50%. I'm just going to try to zoom in on this. Oh, this is on the log scale. I think that I might have been going over stuff on the log scale. So I don't know if that skewed any of my analysis over here. Don't think it would have, not too much. But yeah, that's the trouble whenever I switch to log, if I forget to switch back. And so I might actually just real quick pull up Rivian. Yeah, so all those levels, whether it's, I think actually this looks better on log. But yeah. But yeah, bonk. Anyways, bonk over here. This is linear, auto fit. So bonk on the log has pulled back to the 50%, but on linear has broken below the 618, and we have the 786 around 16 cents. Either way, looking at this on the log scale, the 618's at 16 cents. Looking at this on the linear scale, 618 is around 16 cents. That's on the log scale, sorry. And then if I switch this over to linear, it's below the 618. The 786 is around 16 cents. And so that could be like a really nice, if it comes down here, everybody's panicking, but then it respects that level and maybe it does something like that. I don't know. Crypto's crazy. And then that would be kind of like breaking out from this trend line. So I'm not trying to say that I'm bearish. I'm just trying to say that if one didn't have a position or wanted to add more, I think waiting for I say 16 cents, but I mean 4 zeros and a 16, that could be a nice level to grab some more, but maybe that doesn't happen. But I think that there's a lot of levels there that suggest that that could be acting as support. And also, the red line here going across, that was resistance over here on March 26th. And then support over here. So I could see it coming back there before it's starting to take off. I think it seems kind of like the consensus is the fourth quarter of 2025 is going to be really awesome with the Clarity Act being passed, with rate cuts being likely to be announced in a couple weeks, and generally just like the 4-year cycle. I've kind of, over the past year, I kind of doubted it for a while, but then when things started to pick up last year, I kind of started to believe it somewhat like a religion. It's like now is the time for crypto to be doing really well, and all this speculative stuff, which I don't know Bonk too well, but my understanding is it's not really just a meme coin. It's kind of like an ecosystem, and it does have more utility than it just being a fun meme coin. But we haven't had alt season yet. And I've heard the narratives that because of the ETFs, because of Wall Street's involvement, there's probably not going to be an alt season because everything's going to be in Bitcoin because of ETFs, and then maybe flow to ETH ETFs. And then where would it go after that if Wall Street can't participate? And so I just think that's a really stupid narrative, though, because it's like in the past, there wasn't big money. And we saw Bitcoin rally massively, followed by ETH, followed by larger caps, followed by altcoins and meme coins. And now there's more money in it. So I think that there's still going to be degens making money off of Bitcoin's moves, Ethereum's moves, Solana, XRP. And then those profits would then be rolled into stuff that's more speculative, that hasn't moved yet. And so I think that's still going to happen. It just might take a little bit longer. So I find that to be pretty interesting. And one thing that I was thinking about too, I do see Joe Bro's follow-up comments. He's saying that he's buying the dip. And then yes, I believe that the yes would be to my comment on Bonk being more than just a meme coin. And actually, maybe I could just have, let's see, Grok do some analysis for us. So how do I, okay, so give me a brief, did I spell that right? Overview of the Bonk crypto, I'll say asset, because I think that's a better way to, asset, is that how you spell that? The Bonk crypto asset. One paragraph and bullet points summary. Okay, so Grok is going to do a little bit of understanding. So Bonk is a dog-themed meme coin launched on the Solana blockchain in December of 2022, designed to revitalize the Solana ecosystem after the FTX collapse. I remember the FTX collapse. I never had an FTX account, but I remember Solana being like demolished after that, and contemplating, should I get some? And I didn't. I probably wouldn't have held, but I feel like I've learned enough hard lessons in crypto that it's kind of like I understand the language of it. Whereas stocks, companies, I mean, cryptos are companies. I feel like crypto just makes a little bit more sense to me. But anyways, continuing on, Bonk aims to be a community-driven token with 50% of its initial 100 trillion supply airdrop to Solana users, including ETF collectors, artists, and developers. And so unlike typical meme coins, Bonk has evolved into a utility token with over 400 integrations across DeFi, gaming, and NFT platforms, including Bonk Swap and Bonk Vault. Pretty crazy how I knew some of that about it being a utility token. I probably learned that from Altcoin Daily. Yeah, that's neat. It's deflationary tokenomics featuring a burn mechanism aimed to reduce supply and potentially increase value, though its price remains highly volatile, driven by social media hype and market sentiment. As of January 2025, Bonk ranks the fourth largest meme coin with a market cap of 2.15 billion. So the summary, it was launched on Christmas in 2020. Its purpose is community-driven meme coin to boost Solana ecosystem, with the supply being 90 trillion max, with about 73 trillion in circulating supply. About 50% has been the initial supply distributed to the Solana community via airdrop. Its utility integrated in 400 plus Solana apps, including DeFi, NFTs, and gaming. Tokenomics are the deflationary with burn mechanism to reduce supply. And market position, it's the fourth largest meme coin, 2.15 market cap. And then the volatility is highly speculative, influenced by social media trends. And one thing that I find actually really compelling is this was an interview. This is with Charlie Lee, who's the founder of the creator of Litecoin. And so like Litecoin is a fork of Bitcoin, and I believe Dogecoin is a fork of Litecoin. And he was comparing Litecoin to Bitcoin as, like people use gold as a store of value, but they don't really spend it. It's so heavy to move, or at least they didn't. They would use silver for spending. And so he kind of used Litecoin as like the silver to Bitcoin's gold, or to gold's Bitcoin. I don't know how you'd phrase that. But Litecoin is like silver as Bitcoin is like gold. And that, I don't know if you've used Litecoin, but it's very easy to move. It's cheap, fast, efficient. And whereas Bitcoin's a little bit more cumbersome. And so I think that is, he was talking about other coins that are more like commodities and just, serving the same purpose like Bitcoin, like Litecoin. And he mentioned Dogecoin. Both of them actually did. And I found that pretty interesting because like most meme coins are on either Solana or Ethereum, whereas Dogecoin is its own chain. And so I find Doge to just be like funny money, it's got a little dog on it. But yeah, it's a little bit different than the other memes. And so I think if there is a meme that creates a niche for itself, I think it can be really valuable. So it sounds like Bonk's doing that, has done that. And yeah. And so coming back to this, and Joe Bro is following up. It's a lock on Bitcoin and gold. So let's see. I'm not sure what that's referring to, but I assume Bonk in some sense. But yeah, I mean, and also, I mean, mentioning Bitcoin and gold, it's like, I feel like Bitcoiners get really offended by the idea of the flippening. So that would be with, if I look up Coin Market Cap, I'm going to type it in here. Just going to pull up my watch list. Or actually, I don't even need to do that. I can just do Coin Market Cap generally. Bitcoin's number one. Ethereum's number two. And so Bitcoin has a $2.2 trillion market cap, whereas Ethereum is a little over $500 billion. And so people talk about the flippening, and so that would be Ethereum's value, the market cap, flipping Bitcoins. And Bitcoiners get so offended by that. But I could actually see that happening. And the reason for that is that gold is not like a super exciting investment. It's a store of value. And like, I feel like Jack Mallers, who is the CEO of Strike, as well as I believe 21 or co-CEO, co-founder. And like it's Bitcoin only, gets like really offended by everything else. But I feel like everything else, there's Bitcoin and then there's everything else. None of this would have existed without Bitcoin. And so I feel like all of these are effectively extensions of Bitcoin, that underlying technology of blockchain. And so to think that it's like, no, all of that stuff is bad, it's only Bitcoin. No, it's like, no, Bitcoin does something very well that others don't do better. But there are others that do some things better than Bitcoin. And some of that is, like Ethereum, for example. And like that comparison, Solana let's see, Solana right here, does some things better than Ethereum. But Ethereum does some things better than Solana. It's everything. It's, it's always a compromise. That's what everything is. But I think Ethereum is more of like the technology of crypto, whereas Bitcoin is more of like the utility of blockchain and storing value. And so that's not really too exciting of an investment. It stores value. That's it. Ethereum does a lot more. And so I could see that flipping Bitcoin. So I find that really interesting. And one of the things that I was thinking about this, so I started watching Crypto Wendio. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with her channel. I just recently subscribed to her, but I've been aware of her for a while. But I didn't realize there was like a real retail interest in XRP. Apparently, there are like influencers on different platforms that talk about it, but not really on X. And so I'm not really exposed to that stuff too much. And actually, a few months ago, a couple of people at work, they were not talking to me, and I don't talk about crypto at work. They were talking about buying XRP and investing in it and wanting it to come back to 2 so they could get more. Hopefully they bought the dip. But I realized, well, the reason why they were talking about it is because one of those guys spends a lot of time on TikTok. He probably saw some TikToks on XRP because there's apparently a community around XRP there. And, it's just like, but why XRP? I mean, I hold some XRP. I hold some of all of these, not very much XRP relative to Bitcoin and ETH. But, it's like, why? Because my experience with XRP, not holding that much of it, is, I recently had to move it from one wallet to another. And I had to leave one XRP in the older wallet. I couldn't move that last bit. So it's like, that's effectively burning some XRP. That's great as far as XRP goes, but as far as my position, that's kind of annoying. And yeah, and like there are minimum amounts. There's a minimum amount of XRP that you can move, whereas, I could move a very small amount of Doge, Bitcoin, whatever. And so like, I really don't like XRP, but the thing that I realized, if you're new to crypto and you see, oh man, everybody's talking about Bitcoin, but it's 111,000 per coin. That's too expensive for me. I'm not going to get any of that. And then you look at the next down the list, Ethereum. Well, that's already over 4,000, and it used to be really boring when it was at 1,400. I'm not, that's too expensive for me now. It's gone up too much. And then you look at XRP, the next down the list, and you say, that's less than $3. I can buy a lot of that. I could buy 1,000 of this, more than 1,000 of XRP, whereas I could only buy one Ethereum. So I think that's kind of where that interest is. And so I don't really like XRP that much from my experience with it. I used to not like ETH that much because of my experience of it, but I've gotten more familiar with like the ERC20 token or coins, tokens, whatever, layer twos. And so I appreciate Ethereum more now. And yeah, I don't know. So this, like I hold some, I feel like it will rally because of retail, but I feel like, it's going to be kind of going down the list here. And I was thinking that after Ethereum, it was going to be Solana, but yeah, and I guess XRP maybe would follow after that. I'm not really sure. But anyways, I do see some more chats, so I might pull those up. So Hydra Hustler is saying AVO going long. Also QS, KR, long on all those, so I'll pull those up. I just need to drink some water. Sorry, I'm dehydrated. That wine was drying my mouth out. And then I might also just pull up Joe Bro's comment here real quick. What the goal amount, if any, do you have enough in Chainlink? So Chainlink, just since I have some crypto up here, that's one that I go over in Crypto Corner Stacker every Saturday. And you can see on the thumbnail, let's see, how do I just go into the channel? And so like every Saturday, and you could also get to it from playlists, which these are in like a crappy order. It should be like the most recent ones. But yeah, so just going from like videos, Crypto Corner Stacker, every Saturday I do one of those, and it has all the coins on it that I cover, and I hold all of them. And Chainlink has been on there. You see that right where the hand is there. I'm just going to move it so you can see the Chainlink. That is one that I don't hold a ton of, but just like listening to Sergey Nasarov, the co-founder, talk about it, his involvement in DC, in the White House, that, and also with, tokenizing the GDP. A lot of stuff will be, so Chainlink like bridges traditional finance, TradFi, with crypto, with like different crypto assets, TradFi. So I think that there's a lot of utility there. And I think that Charles Hoskinson, the founder, I believe co-founder or founder of Cardano right there, I think he was a little peeved by Chainlink, just like knowing how much they're worth, and a collaboration that they had didn't end up working out because of that. And so, yeah, Chainlink is one where I definitely like to add more to, but also the way that I add, which I go over, these are like 2-hour long videos, timestamps to each coin. And you can just kind of get an idea of my strategy, which is really very boring. It's either daily dollar cost averaging or weekly dollar cost averaging or dip buying. And now I'm kind of getting into more trimming, specifically with more of the speculative ones like RLC and Litecoin, which is behind the O there. But yeah, I mean, I encourage checking that out if you want my perspective on Litecoin. 21 cryptocurrencies I go over in that one now. But yeah, anyways, I'll pull back to Hydra Hustler's comment here, AVO. So let's pull that up. And yeah, and so just to follow up with stuff on Chainlink, Joe Bro's saying it's an Oracle asset, but when do you say enough is enough in buying for me? So basically when bills catch up to me, and I'm kind of at that point until I get paid on Friday, um, and um, and that's a good way to keep things in balance. But also, I do have some bigger bills that are periodic coming up, and so just kind of on hold with the being super aggressive with buying. But once ETH gets to like 6,000, I think it's going to get to 8,000. Once it gets to 6,000, I'm probably going to cool off. Once I've met my goal for Bitcoin, I'm going to stop with the aggressive stacking. And then at that point, I'll see what the other alts are doing. But I feel like it's going to go, Bitcoin's already started, then it's ETH. And then after that, either Solana or XRP, and then just kind of moving down the list. From like CoinMarketCap. I think it's just going to kind of go down this list. And yeah, I'm kind of like getting into the trimming of the more speculative stuff so then I can buy back on pullbacks. And more or less by the end of the year, I plan on selling a lot of stuff. Ideally, like January 1st, so I have like a full year before I have to worry about taxes. But yeah, so that's kind of, and then just I'm going to get onto Hydra Hustla's comments, but is 5,000 too much or a good goal? 5,000 of or $5,000 all depends on you. I find that I do much better with trading if I have small positions or if I ease into them, and then there's just no emotion. So if that's an amount, whatever it is, if it's an amount that you're emotional about it, you're worried about it, you need that money, I think it's too much, but you do you. If it's an amount where you don't sweat it, you can, walk away for a month and not worry about it, or maybe a week, let's say, then I think that's probably fine. But that's person by person. We all manage our emotions differently. So, I mean, you gotta decide what's enough or not enough for you. And I feel like I kind of have like ADHD a little bit, and that I was just doing like Bitcoin and Doge for a while. But then I started to, and also Ethereum Classic, and I had RLC as well. But then I started to add more, just like, well, I'll just do like $1 a day until I accumulate like $100 of these tokens, these coins. And then I did that, and then I kept adding just $1 a day. And that's just super easy, no emotions with it. I don't care at all about it. But yeah, let's look at AVO real quick. So I'm just going through these comments in order. And so this is Mission Produce. This is above the 50-day moving average. Volume did increase as it went up, and as it's kind of been consolidating here. Volume's been lower, although it's starting to pick up, and earnings looks like it's going to be tomorrow, I believe, on September 8th. And so with that being said, I mean, since this could go anyway. I mean, because you've got, let's see, I'll just do a trend line. This is kind of, like if I do shifts, so it's like horizontal line. It's kind of topping there. So, that's some notable resistance. It's not able to get above or hold above, so that doesn't really seem so great with earnings coming up. So, I mean, I could see this coming down, breaking below the 50-day, but I could also see it launching after earnings. Earnings, very tough to know. Yeah, if I do a fib retracement here, the green line here, that's the 50% retracement. That'd be around 1125, and that would also correspond with like kind of the tops here. So that could be some support. If it breaks a little bit lower than that, the yellow line here, the tops of this consolidation, so that could be some notable support. It's the 618 around 1085 or right around $11. But yeah, with earnings coming up, I really have no idea. I will pull up the Max Pain for AVO just so we can see that for the 19th, it's 1250. Current price is right around 1250 at 1263. And so earnings is expected in the after hours tomorrow on the 8th. And the expected move is 7.74%. That's going to be plus or minus about $1, either the upside or the downside. And so looking at the chart, if this were to come down, let's say just hypothetically, about $1, that would put it at the 382 there, right around 1165. It's coming down about 7.7%. So that could be happening after earnings. So I'd be cautious of that. That also does look like there's a little bit of consolidation just below that here. Did bounce from it here. So that could be something notable. Also, that corresponds with, I think this would be the gap fill, but that gap has since already been filled right around that area. And then like to the upside, if it were to go to $1, what might that correspond with? Let's see. So from here up around $1 kind of corresponds with, the stuff over here. But yeah, I mean, this is like trading earnings. The thing that I don't like about it is that volume's kind of increased here and price hasn't really gone up. And actually, if you look at that large volume day, it was a pretty small spread in the candle. So that makes me think it's kind of weak. We do have higher lows here in the stock price, basically flat here. That's like weak bullish divergence. But you do have a higher high here. And if we look at the RSI, that's a lower high. And so that's going to be bearish divergence. So yeah, I mean, I feel like this is coming down to at least 1165 would be my guess. Let's say 1169. But that would match with what Max Payne suggests. And I could also pull up just the flow over here for Avo. No trades with premium, minimum of 100,000, not even 10,000. Let's just do 1,000. Crazy. So let's delete. Clear that filter. Just to get an idea of what the net call and put premium's doing. 30 days. The highest the net call premium's been is like almost 5,000. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing like screaming that this is going to be going higher. So I'd expect this to come down to around 1169. Having fun with the numbers. And so, yeah, I mean, hopefully that's helpful, but around earnings, it could go up or down 7 to 8%, it looks like from the data from Unusual Whales. And then also QS, going long on that, nice. That's one that I had previously covered that I made a video on. I think, it was just like maybe I had PTSD or something, and just like concerned that, it just moved a bunch. It's probably going to pull back now. They're going to raise capital. And they didn't, and it just kept ripping. So I got left behind on that one. Great one, as far as I understand. But it's pulled back a lot. Yeah, so I think what probably happened, I don't know what's going on with these. I had done, I guess I kind of copied this pattern. But yeah, I think what I had done, when did I put out the video? Let's scroll back to the channel. Let's see, QuantumScape. There was a while where I wasn't putting out too many videos. I just kind of got burnt out. But yeah, QuantumScape, this was 2 months ago. Not sure the exact. Okay, yeah, so gap up. And actually, no, I mean, I think that I thought I maybe did a follow. Wow, ETHSTR. This is the basis of Crypto Corner Sat Stacker. I really haven't put out too many videos this year. That's crazy. I put out like over 1,000 last year, I think. QuantumScape. Yeah, that's it. Only 216 for views, which is probably good. And let's see. So I want to look at 2 months ago. I'll just do a measurement. So about 60 days back. 50. Yeah, so I mean, it's around there. So I think what happened is it like gapped up, and I think I sold right around here, somewhere in this area, and then it continued higher. It's like, man. And it's like, okay, well, I just need to forget about it because maybe it'll return to my levels, maybe it won't. And what happened? It's not returned necessarily. I can actually see, I'll pull it up on my phone. You guys won't be able to see it, but just out of curiosity, what did I sell? Where did I sell my, I think, shares at? This is one of my most profitable stocks that I've traded. Excuse me. So yeah, on June 25th, so over here, yeah, I mean, I sold too early, way too early. I sold at 594. And, you know, from like right around 6, I could have made, you know, more than doubled that position. I probably would have been like getting like a 3-bagger for, you know, whatever average I had. But yeah, I mean, from, you know, let's say this initial move, I'm just going to do a, you know, approximate fib retracement. It looks like, I mean, like I said, it's approximate. It looks like it's broken below the 618, so it could be coming down to the 786, coming down to 640. But maybe that doesn't happen. Maybe it just comes down to like 650. So yeah, I mean, and this is also a good reminder of like when things like really take off and it's like, wow, it's up, you know, from the lows here, like I was talking about from where I sold at, but from the lows here, it was up like 250%. So it's like, take some profits, you know, and also I think there's a little bit of a tell with the volume. So that you have large surge in volume here that goes up, and then as this is going up so high, volume's not really getting up there, and then you start to see volume start to come down when it hit a higher high in the stock price, but the volume wasn't supporting, you know, that move, and you have this large volume, 148.45 million shares traded on June 18th, and then look at the spread of that candle. So there's some divergence between the volume and that spread. And so, yeah, because it's like, and you can also just think about it relatively like volume stair-stepping up, it's increasing. And so here you see the first step in that stair step, and it's a small spread candle. And then the next day you see a wide spread candle with more volume behind it. They're moving in concert. There's no divergence there. And then the next day, you get another stair step up, but that's not supported by a wide spread candle. It's not going up a ton. And so that suggests that there's a lot of effort going into holding the price where it's at. And that means it's starting to get exhausted. Whereas over here, there was a lot of volume behind it relative to the past. Actually, no, I mean, volume did pull back a little bit. And so, yeah, I mean, that's like, you know, volumes generally going up, but here you saw up and then down a little bit, whereas the spread in the candle is about the same. And then it goes up more, big spread in candle, smaller spread, bigger volume. And so that's kind of a little bit of a topping signal. Also, I mean, look at the RSI. There's no bearish divergence here because you have higher highs in the stock price, higher highs in the RSI. But like over here, the RSI was 83. 83.71. Over here, it had to have been in the 90s. 90.92. So it's like, yeah, that's being greedy. And then so pulling back here, if we could do a fib extension, you know, coming from the top here down to here, and then up to the tops here, that would be suggesting price could come down to like $3. I don't think that's happening, but I think that it could be coming down to 650. And we could also look at the Max Pain for QS. $8 was last Friday, and it closed, I believe, below. It closed at 784. So yeah, it closed below Max Pain. And then 750 for this coming Friday. So, you know, the current price 783. I mean, I think that this could kind of serve as a magnet, pulling it down. And then for the monthly, September 19th, Max Pain is $9. So I think that that's really going to, price is probably going to be going down because it's going to be a lot lower than Max Pain. So that's kind of bearish. I think it's like Max Pain's like a magnet to the downside, but then when the price gets much lower than the Max Pain, then it's not necessarily a magnet to the upside. That kind of is more like a weight that pushes it down. Because the momentum is to the downside, at this point. So, yeah, I would expect this to go to 650 at least. And let's see. And then also KR. And then I also do see Benjamin's comment on NNDM, so I'll go over that in a minute. That's one I have not thought about in a long time. But yeah, first I will go over KR, which I'm not too familiar with this one. Kroger, food, grocery stores. Earnings coming up. I mean, here we have, doing a fib extension. And so that probably just came down to like the 786 if I don't like to leave the 786 up, but I might just throw it up there for a little comparison. Kind of came down to the 786 around 66. The 618 right around there. But yeah, earnings is coming up. But I think that this could be, doing like the same type of thing, but just from over here, downside, and then up. Could be heading to the 60s, currently at 67.75. But those may also not be such great extensions. I'm not really sure. Because over here, it's like, well, maybe it's a bear flag, and then earnings, and then this gapped up. So it could be doing that. But let's see, what are some of the signals here? We see lower lows here. So lower lows. I might just draw up things that stand out to me between these. It's lower lows, and I can maybe do it like that because there's a little blip in the middle there. So that looks kind of similar. And with that, we actually have volume increasing. Not up to this point. I can't really include that because that, we need to wait for the day to move. But we see a little bit of a divergence in the volume, kind of increasing in the middle there, but then over here, not so much. Maybe it would be better to draw like that. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is lower lows, also lower lows in the RSI. So there's no bullish divergence. Over here, you haven't seen, volume's just lower. And, it's like you see something happen. It's like, oh, well, it's probably going to happen again. It may not. And so, yeah, that's tough. Earnings are such a gamble. Both of these are below the 50-day moving average. Let's see where the 200-day moving average is. This is getting close to that. So if this does go lower, it would be below the 200-day moving average. So I guess I just want to see that this holds above the 200-day moving average, which is at like 66.42 right now, but that will be changing each day. And let's see. I was going to pull up the Max Pain. So that was Kroger, which is KR. Max Pain is 67, or was 67. It closed above, and then it's 69 for the 12th, which it's below right now. And they do have earnings on the 11th, which I believe is Thursday. That's the pre-market. And the expected move is about 4.6%, or about $3 to the upside or the downside. And so with that in mind the $3 plus or minus. So from the close, $3 to the upside would be basically bumping into the 50-day moving average, and $3 to the downside would be coming to like 65, and I'm not sure if that was, yep, 65. So downside risk to 65, upside risk to the 50-day moving average at like 70, 71, somewhere around there. So that's what I would think. But I mean, that's the range that it could go, but I have no idea which way it's going to go. And then Benjamin's comment here, what do I think about NNDM? And this might be like the last one. I guess I've been streaming for 2 hours. My eyes are getting kind of tired. So NNDM, pull that up. Below the 50-day moving average, and it's trading around 135 is where it closed at. But yeah, I mean, this has really bled a lot. So I think kind of a rule of thumb. I'm just going to put this on the weekly. If you go back 2 years and it's $1,000, they've been doing too much dilution. If you go back to 2015, it's not $1,000. So I'm not too concerned with that. But I believe this is an Israel-based company based in Israel. And so, it's kind of contentious sometimes. So I don't know. That's, it's like, it's not just, it adds a layer of complexity. So yeah, and I might pull up some of the older charts that I've done with it, add a symbol, NNDM. See, I had all this stuff up here, and it's like really come down a lot, gap down. Are there like no reverse splits or anything? I mean, this is right around $1. It's listed on the NASDAQ. Oh, I guess you can't see it up there, but it says NASDAQ right above my cursor. Yeah, it says NASDAQ right here. And so there might be some non-compliance issues if it starts to go below $1. And I feel like whenever a stock is trading above $1, it's probably going below $1. So I would say I'd expect this to kind of go to $1. This is a trend line that I would think would be important for it to break above, but also has that 50-day moving average above. So, and then this is kind of like the support down here. But yeah, I mean, it could just, do this. And then, like which side is it going to break? I don't know. But yeah, I mean, if it's doing that and it's not able to hold above the 50-day, then it's kind of weak. But yeah, this is one that I used to trade. I made a bunch of videos on it a while ago, but kind of stopped. I think it just got to be a little too speculative, and I'm trying to be a little bit more conservative with the number of charts that I go over and stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it for there. I don't see that anybody's joined or continuing to still watch. So I might close this down. Maybe I'll just hang out, sip a little bit more of that, and add some to the watch list over here. So crypto, I could do Ondo. I know that's one that I have. We were talking about Chainlink. So Link. Let's see. Cardano Doge. I've got Doge on there, of course. Let's see. There should be 21. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Got some more to add. Aave is one of them. Avalanche is another. I also just recently started with Arbitrum. And Pepe is one. Coinbase. And then also Trump, USD. And so let's see how many are over here. I'm going to have to order these, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm missing 2. What am I missing? Let's see. I'm just going to pull up stuff on my phone because I think I could figure it out from there. Let's see. Bitcoin's on there. Ethereum Classic, I do have that on there. Link, Litecoin, Ondo, Pengu. XLM and XRP. Those are the 2. So let's see if I have enough room for them. And then XRP USD. Perfect. So now these are all of the ones that I go over for Crypto Corner Sat Stacker. And yeah, so this is just super cool, super handy for me. I'm excited about this. I'm just going to try to approximately order them and how they are like weighted in my portfolio. I believe it's something like that. And then Sol, I think Litecoin is right around Sol. ARB is at the bottom. XRP is higher than XLM. Let's see, Aave. Pengu's not that high. I think Pengu's right here. It's something like that. Approximately. But yeah, I do go over that in Crypto Corner Sat Stacker, so you can check that out if you like. But yeah, what I'm going to do, since I've been streaming for over 2 hours now, I'm going to wind this down. I will be doing this again next Sunday, but probably just for an hour because I work the following Monday. I work tomorrow, but in the afternoon. So no worries there. But anyways, as always, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos, streams, whatnot like this. And I hope you have a great rest of your Sunday before the work and or school week starts tomorrow, Monday, September 8th. Should be a pretty exciting week. And yeah, looking forward to it. Take care, you guys.